You're watching Go Vancouver, and we are celebrating Vancouver Pride 2014 in the streets of our city. Coming up, the politics of the parade.
Rejuvenate ourselves and think about what's still to do. What do we have to do in the time to come?
Canada's new transgender comedy.
Thanks again. You're my hero.
This is a show that needs to happen.
And on stage with the unstoppable Connie Smudge.
Well, I'm busy, honey. I'm like a fart in a windstorm.
Welcome to our Go Van Parade special, only on Shaw TV. I'm Johanna Ward, and this is one of the largest and most successful LGBTQ events in the world. That's right, the world. It's also one of the biggest parties here in Vancouver, but it's about so much more than that. Up first on our Cultus Lake Water Park Big Summer, it's Vancouver Pride 2014.
Cultus Lake Water Park's Big Summer is brought to you by Cultus Lake Water Park, found online at cultus.com.
Quintessential queer, fabulous marching gaggle.
I think it's going to be intuitive.
Yeah, so the more fabulous you are, the better chance you have of winning.
Absolutely.
I think so.
Yeah. The further you are, you push the envelope.
2014 Pride Parade judge Ron Dutton says Pride isn't just about being loud and proud. It's about visibility and a fight for equality.
Pride Parade has been going on, of course, for almost 40 years now, and it's in many ways, for the rest of the town, it's a statement that we're here. It's a healthy community that contributes to the rest of the city and its cultural life. Of course, it's also a time to celebrate achievements in the political realm and in the personal realm, so people are out expressing who they are.
This year, Ron Dutton was honored with Lifetime Achievement at the Pride Legacy Awards. Queer trans filmmaker and community activist Gwen Haworth is being recognized as one of the parade grand marshals.
I think there's a few things about Pride that are really great. One is just really acknowledging all the things that have happened in the past in terms of activism to get us to where we are, including the last year. So if we look at the updates to the policy of the Vancouver School Board, to the Vancouver Parks Board, these are things that I think we should take a little bit of time to celebrate. But it's also a time to rejuvenate ourselves and think about what's still to do. What do we have to do in the time to come?
And that's something the Pride Society actively promotes.
Pride Society in the last few years has made a real point of trying to connect our rights in Canada with those around the world, so that they're trying to reintroduce a political element to the celebrations, so that we understand that not everybody's as lucky as we are.
I always love too seeing the variety of groups that come through, because it's not just all pink boas. I mean, there's really quite a spectrum.
Yeah, there's a lot of religious groups, there's a lot of sports groups.
Some of my friends have a float called Whatever Floats Your Boat.
There's gay nudists and gay Buddhists, so it ranges across all of human experience.
You see so many family and friends out here, and just recognizing that our communities are more than just folks who identify as lesbian, gay, bi, trans, queer, and two-spirit. It's our families, it's our friends, it's the people all around us. So I think this is 650,000 plus people. I think this really points that out. I invited my mom to be in the Grand Marshal car with me. I know that she's going to remember it for the rest of her life.
And really brings it home to what this day is all about. Well, this week, really.
Absolutely.
This
definitely.
year, next year,
and the
year
ones to
after
come.
that. Yeah. Happy Pride.
Thank you. Happy Pride to you.
Cultus Lake Water Park's Big Summer is brought to you by Cultus Lake Water Park, found online at cultus.com.
Later on today's Go, we're going to chat with one of the other grand marshals for the 2014 Vancouver Pride Parade, Dean Nelson. He's the producer of the Whistler Ski and Pride Festival, and he also founded the very first Olympic Pride House at the 2010 Winter Games. You're watching our Go Vancouver Pride special. So many amazing resumes involved with this year's festival, including one of the 3 official MCs, the unstoppable Connie Smudge.
We call her the unstoppable Connie Smudge!
Hello, my kittens. How are you?
Whether she's on stage, performing charity work, or frolicking down Davie Street, the all-well-known, unstoppable Connie Smudge holds a colorful legacy of accomplishment within Vancouver's LGBTQ community.
Hello, my darling. See, they know me everywhere. I live for it. Well, I'm busy, honey. I'm like a fart in a windstorm. So someone's seen me either at the P&E or at their aunt's wedding, or, you know, I've embarrassed bosses and been at brisses and birthday parties. And so it's amazing the weird. Someone just showed me a picture they have on their old-fashioned flip phone from 10 years ago. And it's like their little keeper, and I don't even remember the, you know what I mean? Gotta work today. I'm a bit of a truth seeker. Like, I don't really like BS. So I know when I'm given BS. I'm a good judge of character. I'm pretty black and white. And what you see is what you get. Chris is about 10 times less Connie. But we're pretty well the same person. Like, Chris would go, "Hi, Skylar," and Connie would go, "Hi, Skylar."
Her vibrant personality and lively spirit has elevated her name and opened doors of opportunity, including work with the West End Business Improvement Association and Outlook TV.
I was really happy to be a part of the West End Business Association. They had a new thing, a new advertising campaign for 3 streets, 3 fabulous attitudes. And I assume I was Davie Street. They used my head and they had a whole bunch of different body parts from below me. And I loved it. So no, Outlook has taught me and shown me and really opened, again, a lot of doors for me. It's been spectacular, the experience I've gained. That has been a real godsend to me because not only it's given me the opportunity to like see and do a whole bunch of really fun things and interview people like Sharon Needles and Boy George.
As many fans as Connie has, her success stems from the support of her friends and family.
You know, I believe that family are friends of the family you choose. So I have friends like the House of von Furstenberg, Neil von Furstenberg, who makes all my jewelry, and he's been so instrumental in creative influences. I've got lots of people like Richard Patton, and I've got people who take care of my wigs and come up with inspirational songs for me and actually pick me up when I'm feeling down. Like, as much as I like to be out there all the time, all that energy, there has to be a point where you kind of want to, I call it my tinfoil castle days, where I just don't want to answer the phone and I just want to watch some Judge Judy and eat some Kraft dinner, you know what I mean? But I believe that my life is actually getting really spectacular all of a sudden because I'm following my true path, I really am. And it feels I'm on the right path.
You did amazing.
Thank you.
How do you feel?
Oh my God, the crowd was electric. They were so spectacular. They were like a sea of fabulous, gorgeous gay heads in front of me. I was erupting with excitement. I loved every moment of it, but it is like 34 degrees and I am making my own gravy. I really am.
We loved every moment of you and you electrified the crowd. I am so glad you were able to squeeze us into your busy schedule, Connie.
I was happy that you were here, but guess what? Gotta go.
Oh. She's unstoppable.
For Go Vancouver, this is Skylar Bear.
The unstoppable Connie Smudge. I'm a fan, I'm a fan, I'm a fan. Also a fan of drag queen Simone Says, who is the MC for the main stage down at the Sunset Beach Festival, and is also one of the MCs for Outlook TV's parade coverage, which you can catch right here on Shaw TV. Go to shawtv.com to find out when it airs. Happy Pride. Coming up, The Switch. It's TV's first transgender comedy. And raising the rainbow flag at City Hall, and the work that still needs to be done.
Hairstyling for Johanna Ward and the Go Vancouver reporters is provided by Aveda Institute, found online at avedainstitute.ca.
Welcome back to our 2014 Go Vancouver Pride Special. I'm Johanna Ward. As we've been talking about on today's show, the whole reason that this started was for political interest, and advocacy is still a big part of it. It's also a time to celebrate here on the streets and on the water. Cruisy Tee has been offering an alternative party venue for more than 2 decades, and one of their most popular cruises actually happens after Pride. It's a Pride recovery cruise. Happy Pride!
Dancing, socializing, partying. After a week of celebrating Pride, you may be looking for some recovery.
Gay Pride after?
I would say this one is probably going to be a little more relaxed. Everyone has had their week of parties, so this is their last one.
The Monday after Pride, about 350 people are boarding this vessel at Harbour Cruises for a 4-hour recovery cruise with Cruisy Tee.
It was started by the founder, Randy Newberg. He started as the Riley Tees, more of an alternative for the nightclubs, getting out of the nightclubs and into the daylight and onto the water.
James Steck has been involved with the company for nearly 2 decades and describes what to expect on this cruise.
You're going to have DJs. Today we have Del Stamp and Dom Top. Joni is our resident drag queen, so she's always on our boat, as well as we have Jaylene Tyne.
Bob Hahn and his husband Manuel are very familiar with Cruisy Tee. They've been on the annual recovery cruise since...
Ever since they've been having it, as far as I remember. You can have dancing and party upstairs and in the back. You can come down here and just feel the breeze. Sunshine, almost always sunshine.
Along with the sunshine comes the views.
Today we're going to go up Indian Arm. We're going to take a look at the Silver Falls, enjoy Deep Cove and sail past that McBarge once again.
Although the scenery is a bonus, it's not the main focus.
The main focus is to raise money for charities that aren't funded by governments and that sort of thing.
Over 24 years, they've raised over $600,000.
This is a fundraiser for not only the Pride Society, we have the Health Initiative Men, and basically just throughout the year, the funds that we were able to raise, we're able to give back to the communities and different charities over the next year.
From Harbour Cruises, I'm Jen Moranitz for Go Vancouver.
The Cruisy Tee season runs through to September. You can get details about all of their upcoming events at their website. Another event that's part of the whole scene is the Queer Film Fest that runs mid-August. Now that's been happening for years, but up next on our Go Van Pride special, it's a first for TV. The very first transgendered comedy to air on TV and put a trans actor in the lead role.
I'd like to all say goodbye to Erwin and hello too.
This is a show that needs to happen. More television needs to be like this.
A show that's local and is the first of its kind.
The Switch is a fantastic transgender comedy. It is shot and set in Vancouver, and what is especially notable about it is not only that it's funny, but it also stars transgender actors in transgender roles.
In fact, it's the first TV show ever to have a transgender person play the lead.
What is wrong with this city? There's no freaking housing.
I know, but you can go skiing and dragon boating in the same day.
First season follows Sue as she loses her old job and her old status in life and is trying to claw her way back up to this very sheltered middle-class existence that she used to have. And she's realizing that she's adapting and thriving in this new environment.
Tony is someone who is basically really hurt in a way that sort of made her lose the ability to have a real emotional connection with people. So she tries, but ultimately right now all she's any good at is basically being a criminal.
Do I need to remind you this is supposed to be single occupancy?
Produced by Trembling Void Studios in Vancouver, The Switch was the brainchild of Amy Fox, who started it as a web series at first. Now it's become a TV show with a half-hour pilot that aired on Out TV earlier this year.
I love being able to bring something this innovative to people. Generally, when trans people are shown on television, as well as a great many other people who are minorities, we are shown as being that quirky person who's maybe in the episode to teach the normal protagonist a lesson. And what we're doing instead is saying, well, actually, transgender people have experiences and opinions and stories, and they're really interesting.
The show has garnered a lot of attention, especially after the success of their Kickstarter campaign that's raised over $57,000 to date.
We have had offers from help from literally around the world. We have people writing in from different countries saying, how can I help you? We have people who are taking anything that we post on social media and make sure that all of their friends see it.
It's for me unexpected and definitely a great thing that finally one of the many seriously underrepresented groups in television demographics has finally managed to get a foot in the door, managed to get a seat at the table to a certain extent.
We get to show a hopeful, optimistic show from a transgender person's point of view. We get to have fantastic geeky genre elements. We get to set it in Vancouver, and we get to use humor to explore social justice issues. It is probably going to be the most innovative show on television.
Out TV has bought the Canadian broadcast rights for the show, and the cast will start shooting the rest of the first season early next year. On Burrard Street, I'm Dina Tosi for Go Vancouver.
Thanks again. You're my hero.
You can check out Trembling Void Studios' website to find out more about the Switch. You're watching our Go Van Pride special, and we've got more reasons to raise this flag and wave this flag coming up. Coming up, meet Parade Grand Marshal Dean Nelson and drag queen Connie Smudge.
Bob Dale Gloves, built for construction, built for performance. BobDaleGloves.com.
Welcome back to Go, celebrating Pride 2014. Dean Nelson, one of the Grand Marshals this year. Congratulations on that honor.
Thank you. It's a huge honor. It's to have the community actually recognize some of the work that you do and being able to be public and celebrate it and share the story about everything that we're doing. So.
Well, you have done some amazing things in your career. You're the producer of Whistler Pride, the very first ever Pride House at the 2010 Olympics. I mean, that one makes me a little bit emotional, I have to say.
It makes me very emotional too.
Yeah, and I like this here. So you're set not only for the weather today, but also kind of like rocking the snowflakes.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a little bit political what I've done here as well, because I have the Olympic rings, where we're really advocating the IOC to update Principle 6, and that's why you have Principle 6 on here as well, to explicitly include LGBT rights in the charter, and that's something that's still not done.
What do you say to people then that talk about Pride as we're all dressed up with the glitz and the glamour and the the kooky outfits? The importance of this Pride Parade.
Well, you know, Pride is a political statement. It's a celebration, and it gives us an opportunity to actually share those stories and make sure that we aren't complacent, because we've seen what happened in Russia, where a change of government and all of a sudden all the rights and freedoms that the LGBT community in Russia had been progressing towards prior to 2010, all of a sudden all those rights were taken away, and if our youth of tomorrow are complacent, same thing could happen to us as well. I think with Pride House initiatives like this and sharing our stories with the media and your viewers at home, I think people can start to understand that, you know, we're all human beings and we should be celebrating the full spectrum of gender inclusion and sexuality.
And celebrate we shall today. Happy Pride.
Absolutely. Happy Pride. Cheers.
There are 3 Grand Marshals in this year's Pride Parade: the late Ted North, community activist Gwen Hayworth, who we spoke to earlier on the show, and of course Dean Nelson. Very busy week for him, because he was also an integral voice at the Pride Proclamation that happened earlier this week at City Hall.
Whereas the City of Vancouver has been a pioneer in celebrating Pride and is tremendously enriched by the social, economic, and cultural contributions of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, two-spirited queer community. And whereas the City of Vancouver recognizes that diversity, equality, acceptance, and pride make us so much stronger as a city, and is resolutely committed to ending homophobia and transphobia in all of their forms.
As a two-spirited man from Musqueam and Squamish, I'm really proud to be back here again today. And I'm honored, so honored and privileged to sing
No matter how many times I come here for this event, it really touches me
in an important way that we're here in this progressive, wonderful city where we can have a flag-raising ceremony outside City Hall. There's many, many places in the world, far away and some not that far away, where an event like this would still be a very far-off dream.
When we create an environment that is supportive, we create a community that fosters new ideas, arts, and culture. We have to share the enormous privilege we have living in Vancouver with queers here and abroad. So we have the city of sanctuary, a city of welcome, and a city of pride.
So I'm encouraging the city to allocate a number of its social housing units that are under development to be set aside for queer asylum seekers and refugee claimants.
Chris Morrissey asked, will the city set aside some of the social housing for LGBT refugees? And Fred Kawali shared that queer refugees being housed with other non-gay refugees is dangerous and in some cases deadly. We need Vancouver to be a beacon of hope, a sanctuary city.
So we had a dialogue up in the council chambers earlier today focusing on discriminatory legislation that is occurring around the world, state-sponsored violence against LGBTQ countries in countries around the world, and how the city of Vancouver can help individuals in our city who are helping to escape from those circumstances, refugees, those who need sanctuary here in Vancouver. There is a lot to celebrate. There is a lot more work to do. But we reflect back on this year, and Joni mentioned a few of the things. We've taken steps here at City Hall and at Park Board and School Board to make sure that we build a city that is louder, prouder, safer, and stronger.
Complacency and silence feeds marginalization. But when we stand up and become visible, we as a people grow and become stronger and a healthier community.
You can visit VancouverPride.ca for a look at the LGBTQ Canadian rights timeline that goes back to when homosexuality was decriminalized in Canada. Thank you, Pierre Trudeau. You know, here in Canada, it feels like we have a lot of extra rights, especially here in Vancouver. But what's it like to grow up in more of a rural area? Ask one of Vancouver Island's drag queens, Connie Smudge.
Well, you know, quite often when Rick and I are together, I don't even really see him. Quite often I pay way more attention to myself, you know? Rick is kind of short, kind of chunky and bald, and well, then I'm the opposite. I'm tall and statuesque and beautiful and glamorous, and I don't think anyone notices Rick. Vicky is bigger than life. Animation to the maximum. She's over the top. She walks us into a room and she's going to take that room over, no matter who's there. I think Rick brings out in people, you know, he'll bring them beer, he'll bring them pizza. He's really just the go-to guy. If I need something, he'll bring it out. If that's what you mean by bringing out the best of people, that's what he'd do. I think Vicky brings out laughter. I think that's one of her biggest assets is that, her biggest asset is her ass, but her biggest asset is making people laugh. I mean, she really does believe that laughter and comedy is the cure to everything, and no matter what people are suffering from, if you can make them forget anything for a couple minutes and laugh, then she's done her job.
This is Rick Myers, a local actor in Nanaimo, and this is Connie Smudge, his alter ego and fabulous drag queen that comes out into the spotlight, well, whenever there's a stage to perform on.
When I'm on that stage, I look down and the first thing I am looking for is H-O-T, hot. And I love hot, attractive, straight men because everyone knows spaghetti's straight till you get it, H-O-T. I grew up in Nanaimo, and I mean, I grew up in the 70s, and there was nothing here for me. I mean, it was a rough town. But it seemed like once I put on some fabulous costumes and sort of took what people normally would make fun of or be afraid of me about, I took that and I made it funny. You know, whenever I go to bars like the redneck bars, like the Timberlands or the Harewood Arms, there's always at least one big beer-gutted guy in there with the crack of his ass showing, and he sees me and he says, "That little fag better not look at me." Let's get something straight. I'm gay, not desperate. The world of rednecks became mine. I mean, they embraced it.
But growing up, Rick's sexuality wasn't as embraced or accepted as it is today. He says there was a lot of misinformation and fear of the unknown.
I remember looking up gay in the encyclopedia because I knew that was going on for me, and it said that it was a mental disorder. So that's kind of information I got. And you know, people were probably maybe mean, maybe even cruel, but it wasn't really their fault because they didn't know any better either.
Rick assumed the world wouldn't change much in his lifetime. He'd still be fighting an uphill battle to receive the same respect and rights of straight people.
I remember even in the 80s, my mom would say, oh, one day you'll get married. And I'd think, Mom, you're crazy. It's never going to happen. The world is never going to change that much.
But it did. In 2007, Rick got legally married to his partner, Owen. Rick says society's views about homosexuality is changing, and drag queens are influential in making that change.
Drag queens have always been sort of a driving force in the gay community too. If you remember in the 60s, there was Stonewall that happened in New York where the cops were busting in gay clubs, and it was the drag queens that stood up and fought back.
Vicky Smudge is helping break down barriers through laughter. She entertains at local pubs, parties, and on the stage.
I think they think, oh no, I can't say that. I think they think, holy smokes, what is that? I'm like Miley Cyrus, I'm a wrecking ball. I think over the years, Vicky has definitely become her own person. I mean, you can ask me any question about her, and I know the answer, you know, like what's her favorite color? Glitter. So my back is killing me, thanks to you. You go out all night long in those silver high-heel boots, and what's left? My aching back. Suck it up, princess. Maybe if you drank one less six-pack before the hockey game, or maybe try going to the gym. Well, if I did go to the gym more, maybe you would be able to fit in that dress. Or moo-moo. Moo-moo? How dare you call this a moo-moo? You should try on the moo-moo. Thanks anyway.
Rick says his one dream for Vicky is for her to sing "O Canada" at the Canucks game. In Cassidy, I'm Rayanne LaPlante.
Smudge, I guess it's a popular last name for drag queens. Vicky Smudge from Vancouver Island. Earlier on today's Go Vancouver Pride special, we had a profile of the unstoppable Connie Smudge. Does lots of work here in Vancouver and is also a reporter on Outlook TV that covers the LGBTQ community here in our city and airs on Shaw TV. Now they've got full parade coverage and you can see highlights if you visit shawtv.com. I'm Johanna Ward, and on behalf of all of us on the show, thank you so much for joining us, and happy Pride, everybody.